Did you know that 60% of nurses experience emotional exhaustion and they do so behind that nice smile? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons nurses are burning out. And I'm going to also share how healing can begin because of my heart framework. By the end of this video, I'm going to guarantee you a few things. You're going to know how to recognize the signs of burnout in you. And you're going to start to reclaim your peace, reclaim your purpose, reclaim your power, because you matter and your well-being matters. So let's talk about it. We're going to take our time today because I'm starting this series of nurse burnout and I want to really get into the crevices of what's going on. So burnout starts in the soul. I truly believe that. Burnout isn't just about being tired, it's soul fatigue. And I say soul fatigue because the soul is invisible, but you can feel its impact and you can see its manifestation if you're experiencing that in your life and in other people. As a nurse, or simply caring as a human being, it's so easy to keep on giving because our heart is wired to help, especially all of us that are called into the profession. We want others to feel better. We want to be there for everyone. There's just this innate feeling and need to be able to care. But in that process of caring, and sometimes over caring, we lose ourselves. The constant grinding, the constant performing, achieving, swimming upstream to care for patients, families, and everyone. We leave work wounded and defeated. Not satisfied. And when that feeling repeats day after day, it leads to burnout and the erosion of your soul. Burnout is emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Stressors like high patient acuity, understaffing, moral distress. You might feel drained, even after rest, cynical or indifferent toward patients or coworkers, or unappreciated and basically ineffective. True healing begins by acknowledging that there's something wrong, that there's pain there. Something's not right. You have to give yourself permission to pause. And that's why I created the heart framework. And those heart frameworks come from acronyms. And it really comes from the essence of what I went through to get to that healing place. And so the H stands for healing. And some of the tools that helped me to move from misalignment to my mission. Let me tell you a little bit more about, the reason why I think that soul pain or your soul is where burnout starts. Before I retired, many people knew that I had been talking about retire for probably about 5 years. And so that desire was in my heart all along. I felt the whisper. I heard the whisper several times. But of course, like I said in previous videos, I suppressed it. But along with that suppression, I started ignoring the voice. And so the voice got so loud that it became a roar, and I knew I had to retire. And so when I retired, I recognized when I got quiet enough to hear, because see, in the midst of your 24/7, you don't have time to hear. So I took time and I heard, and I recognized that I was actually experiencing soul pain. And soul pain directly related to me being misaligned and not really following the whisper of my heart. And so I took the time and I recognized that, if something is going on in my soul, I got to pay attention to whatever that is. And that's what I'm saying. You have to start paying attention of something is not right. What is it that's causing you that unrest? You have to start paying attention to it so that you can address it. And so true healing begins by acknowledging that there's something wrong. And so let's get into the H. So this tool helped me to move from misalignment to my mission, from burnout symptoms to brilliance, from surviving to shining, from the pace, the pressure, the emotional toil. They cause invisible wounds. Okay, I got to say that again. The pace of our workforce, the pressure that we experience every day, the emotional toll that come at us and we are experiencing, they all cause invisible wounds that we all experience. And literally over time, those wounds become moral injury or emotional numbness. Healing is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what brings you back to you. It honors the cost of caregiving. It gives you permission to stop. It gives you permission to breathe and to reflect. It transforms your pain into wisdom. And when healing begins, your hope is reborn. You are not weak for needing rest. You are wise for recognizing when you need it. That's the first point. The second one, let's talk a little bit about engagement or reconnecting with your why. You see, engagement isn't necessarily about staying busy. It's about being connected mentally, emotionally, spiritually, purposefully. When nurses feel heard, seen, and valued, they don't just show up. They lean in. You see, empowerment is the next evolution of engagement. I believe those two go together. It's what happens when we're not just involved, but we have been entrusted. When our voices influence change, when our gifts are acknowledged, when we know we matter, engagement is automatic. You see, engagement without empowerment is like listening without acting. But when burnout sets in, you begin to disengage. I literally disengaged. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I remember over the years, and I was wondering, like, Charlene, what happened? Because there was a period of time that I was extremely engaged and doing what I needed to do. But then I experienced a negative experience with someone that was over me. And so every time I would say something, the person would overtalk me, would say, no, Charlene means this. You know, they would do things like that, which is really considered microaggressions. But they would always do it. And I finally called the person out and we had a conversation. She did not recognize that that's what she was doing. But after several years of being up under that, I was like, you know what? I am just going to do my job, disconnect. It didn't matter that I had all of these beautiful skills, clinical excellence. I mean, I had all of the different things. I decided, you know what? I am not going to get my energy into this person. I have to protect myself at that point. And so I started slowly disengaging. And was I supposed to do that? I did that because I felt like that's what I needed to do. But then I got re-engaged when the person was no longer around. And so my point is there are relationships in work. There's a lot of toxicity sometimes in work that causes nurses to disengage. They just want to come, do their 8, do their 16, do their 12, whatever it is. I mean, if you're coming to work and you feel like you are being bullied, you are not being listened to, you are being dumped on, you are not going to engage like you need to. You're going to disconnect. You're going to shut it down. You're not going to engage. You're to come do what you need to do, and then you're going to go home. Yes, I know it's tough, and that's our profession, but it's real. Now, I want to show you this one tool that I created, and it's called the Why Whisper. So it's a 2-minute morning practice that reconnects you with your purpose. And this is the simple thing about it. All you have to do is ask yourself, why did I start? And take some time and answer that if you're not so busy. I really encourage you to pause and start asking yourself the questions to help out. And then the second question, what still matters to me today? So why did I start? And what still matters to me today? See, it's a soft whisper that speaks life back into your day. Now, let's get into the third point that I'm going to cover, and that's resilience, building that inner strength on your purpose. You see, resilience isn't just bouncing back. It's staying grounded, whole, and self-aware in the middle of the challenges. It's in healthcare, it's traumatic, and trauma is constant. Urgency never stops. The emotional labor is real, and yet we're told to keep going. No pause, no processing, no presence. But here's the truth. Resilience is not hustle. Resilience is healing in motion. It's a sacred commitment to protect the inner you. So the work you do doesn't destroy what's within it. Now, there's a myth buster that I want to crack into because we've glorified being strong, but strength without rest, without restoration, is just self-abandonment. Now, we are not going to do that. I got to just stay here and camp out. One of the most wonderful things that happened to me while I was going through the transitions and the burnout and the misalignment and all the things was learning about how to intelligently protect my energy. You see, heart math and caring science, that was kind of like my two trump cards that I used to help me to sustain myself, to keep a positive attitude, to be able to still love and to care for my team as I was leading, even though I was dealing with a lot of different things. And so they taught us a tool called heart-focused breathing. It's just simple breathing techniques that helps you to reset, to recenter yourself so that you can get back to where you need to be. And you can use heart-focused breathing and quick coherence right there in between taking care of patients, in between a conversation that you have to have that may not be a pleasant conversation. You can also have it when it's a very difficult interaction with the patient or with a family member. Because the key is here, you're trying to recenter yourself. You're the caregiver. So you're the one that's called to a higher standard, a higher ethic to make sure that you're providing compassionate, patient-centered, human-centered care. And so there's so many things that we experience as nurses that will rattle your cage. And so your thing is, okay, I have to, because that's one thing, I'm sure I told you guys about this already, but one thing I've decided to lead with, and that's I walk in undisturbed composure. You see, I had to start doing that because chaos came immediately as soon as I got there. So I had to put this force field of undisturbed composure. I anchored it in my heart with the breathing technique, and that's why I love the practices of heart math. I anchored it in so that whenever I went to work and then things start spinning and spiraling out of control, I was able to recenter myself, lock it back in with just taking a few wonderful deep breaths. And so let's practice just for a moment. Quick coherence. I'm going to walk you through that. Because you know what? This is just not about information. This is about you getting the tools that you need to be a better human being, to start the process of healing. One of the reasons that I also like heart math in this regard is because we know that mindfulness practices help us to be less judgmental, less short with other people. It really helps you to recenter yourself, to bring clarity. I mean, when I led, I had to use these tools so that I can deal with all of the challenges that were coming before me. And so if you're in a chair, I want you to just get comfortable in your chair. Some people close their eyes, some don't. When you're in the work environment, of course, you can't do that. But at home, when you're practicing, it's good to just shut out the world or just look down, gaze softly down. And then we're going to focus on the area of your heart. Imagine the breath is flowing in and out of your heart and chest area, breathing in a little deeper and a little slower, or whatever's comfortable. And as you continue to breathe in through your heart and chest area, I want you to experience a regenerative feeling. You know, it could be someone that you value, someone that you appreciate, like a pet, your husband, your wife, whatever that is. It may be nature that gives you that feeling of appreciation and love. And I want you to breathe that in and through your heart and chest area. Knowing that any time, at any moment, that you can come back to this still point. Now, you can do that while you're washing your hands. You can do that between patients. You can do that between conversations. You can do that whenever you need to. Nobody knows that you're doing it. You're doing it because I like to say it like this. You love you enough to give yourself that pause, to recenter, to rebalance yourself so that you can make the right decisions in the next moment. And so that is your little practical tool for today. I also gave you the little why whisper. And so if you found this to be helpful, I'd love for you to start liking, subscribing, and commenting below with which part of the heart framework that you want to explore next. I will definitely be going over all of them, but I want to make sure that I hit all of them and see if you have any questions. So the first ones that we covered, let's just go back. So today you're going to be walking away with clarity that burnout is more than stress, it's deeper. Remember, it's from the soul. The simple why whisper ritual and quick coherence. I really walked you through that. And most importantly, permission to heal without shame. I hope that was valuable for you. But here we go. I want to thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll go even deeper into the emotional labor of nursing and how to protect your peace without guilt. Check it out here and remember, your healing begins when you decide